Hi guys, welcome to this video, and today we're going to be going over prokaryotic cells. So prokaryotic refers to bacteria, so we're going to be looking at bacterial cells, and then cells are the smallest part of life. They're the building blocks to living organisms. So hopefully by now you should know what eukaryotic cells are. And just a little recap, they are plant and animal cells. And now we're going to be going over bacterial cells, which are prokaryotic cells. And these are smaller than eukaryotes. That is an important thing to know, they're smaller. And they form unicellular organisms. So what that actually means is that with bacterial cells, you only need one cell to form the organism. Whereas, for example, in eukaryotic cells, such as plant cells, you need a load of these different plant cells to form a plant. But with bacteria, only one cell is required to actually form a bacteria. Another good thing to know is that with bacterial cells, prokaryotes, the DNA is not enclosed, so it's not enclosed in a nucleus. We've got free moving DNA. So here is a basic structure of a prokaryotic cell, a bacterial cell, and they look a bit different to eukaryotic cells. This is probably something that you haven't seen before, so we're just going to label it first. So this here is the cell wall. It's the outside bit. The inside bit is the cell membrane. Hopefully you should know that already, because they are very similar to plant cells in that sense. Here, you might have guessed it, these are ribosomes. They're quite small. Here, you've got flagella. Flagella, that's a new word probably for you. Here, these small loops, they're called plasmids. And there's 3 here, it doesn't matter, there's not 3 in every different cell. I've just drawn 3. There could be 10 for all we know. And then there's 3 floating DNA, or you could call it a DNA loop. So these are the structures or organelles found in a bacterial cell. And now we're going to go over their functions. So a cell wall, it's made of, you might think it's cellulose, the same as plants, but it's not. It's a chemical called peptidoglycan. And this provides cell with support. So what that means, basically, it makes the cell wall stronger. Plasmids, these are small loops, which just means like they're arranged in like a circle shape of DNA. And it's good to know, guys, that these can be transferred. Because they're so small, they can leave the bacterial cell and get transferred to other bacterial cells. So they can actually leave this cell and go to a different cell. Then we've got free floating DNA, and this contains the genes for the cell. So it codes for the different proteins to be made. Then we've got the cell membrane, and this is selectively permeable. And what that means is that it controls what enters and leaves cell. So for example, we might have proteins that are made inside this cell, which proteins are made in the ribosomes, and once they're made, they may want to exit the cell. And then what they're going to do is they're going to exit through the cell membrane, which is selectively permeable, which basically means stuff can go inside it, stuff can go outside it. Then we have ribosomes, which are, as I said, where proteins are made. And this is known as protein synthesis. And then last, guys, we have the flagella. Now, obviously, like I said, you probably haven't heard of this word, But the flagella allows the bacteria to move. So because bacteria are unicellular, they need something that causes them to move. Obviously with humans, we can move because we've evolved legs. But bacteria, they can't really evolve much because they're just one cell. They can't make up something to cause them to move. They have to have something already that causes them to move. And this is the flagella. And these basically, they like rotate. Sperm have flagella and they basically move to cause the bacteria to move. So if the bacteria enters a host body, what will happen is they will move because the flagella will basically act as like a tail which causes it to move. So it allows the bacteria to move, e.g. sperm. Now sperm isn't bacteria, it's a sex cell, but sperm has flagella. Now bacterial cells, they don't just have 3, some may have 100, some may have only 1, and some actually do not have any. That's important to know. I did actually forget in all subcellular structure, which is the cytoplasm. I always forget that one, I don't know why, I always forget it. And the cytoplasm, as you probably know from eukaryotic cells, unless you're doing prokaryotes first, and this is where most chemical reactions occur. So it's actually a jelly-like substance, so I'll put that in brackets. So it's a jelly-like substance where most chemical reactions occur. So you've got to imagine this cell is actually 3D. So, it's a bit like that. And then inside it's filled with this, like a liquid thing. And that's where all these organelles sit. And they float inside this liquid. And that is known as the cytoplasm. So it's just the empty space in the diagram here. Now you should be able to know the functions of the organelles in bacterial cells, otherwise known as prokaryotes, and you should also know the structure of a common bacterial cell. I hope you found this video useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.